Hello, everyone. Welcome to NJ Bass Academy. Okay, I had a request from a subscriber to show how I do my background tracks. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of my equipment and how I do it. Okay, so let's start off with the first signal path. That will be my bass to or guitar through pedal boards. Okay, so if you look right down here, you can probably see a gray box right here, right there. That's a Korg Toneworks, and that's what I run my guitar through. So that's all my guitar effects all the way far to my right on the floor. Next to that is my bass effects pedal board, and I have my signal running into a tuner. From the tuner, it goes to a Boss Octavider. From the Boss Octavider, it goes to an Electro-Harmonix POG, then through a MXR chorus, and I have a Electro-Harmonix looper that I use for only live performances if I just want something to do a quick loop. And then that signal path runs into a Sans amp, and that's where I get my amplifier tones or distortion, whatever I want. I also have a Morley AB box. So when I step on the Morley, the A signal is just straight, and the B signal runs through a Sonus MIDI device where I can control the keyboards from my bass. Okay? And that's about it. So I have the A channel set up with no keyboard bass going through it, and then when I switch to B, it kicks in whatever keyboards I have going on there. And that's a beautiful little thing. It's a fun device. Okay, so that's the bass pedal board right there. Then, next to the bass pedal board, I have an Alesis sustain pedal, which you might be able to see right here, right where my foot is. There, that's the sustain pedal. And all of my signal paths go into my board right here. Okay, so if you see all those lights flashing, that's all the record buttons pressed in. And I happen to have it running through a Tascam 24-track digital recorder, which I really don't use. I just use it more or less for a mixing board. And out of the mixing board, my whole signal path goes into this Boss 505 looper, which is phenomenal. The 505 is the centerpiece of how I record all my tracks. Okay, so I mostly do loops. Right underneath this, on the floor here, you can see I have another pedal board, and that's a Nectar Pacer, and that controls the 505. So, if I step on the pedal once, I have track 1, recording. I step on it again, yellow, track 1, recording. Overdub. I step on it again, yellow, track 1, recording. Overdub. I step on it again, yellow, track 1, recording. Overdub. I step on it again, and then you can stop it. So I also have that on 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And that's that. And I have that set up for each track. Okay, so I have 5 tracks. This, hit that twice, wipes out the track. Okay, so that's the guitar and bass. Now let's go over to the keyboards. Okay, for the keyboards, I'm using a launch key controller. It's got the pads for the drums. Keyboards, this thing does all kinds of stuff that I can't even make it do yet. But phenomenal piece of equipment right here. Okay, now the keyboards. To my right, Roland JX8P analog. It's a digital analog synthesizer, meaning it's analog, but you could store patches digitally. Okay, so it's still an analog synthesizer. Polyphonic, old school. Up here, up on my shelf, I have an Alesis, and that's a QSR module. Now this is a digital keyboard, which gives me all my digital keyboard sounds. Next to the Alesis is a Roland TD5 drum machine with all kinds of different Roland sounds, 909, 808, all the classics right here in this box. All right. So, when I hit this button, that's all my drums. Okay? So that's where my drums come from, right here, and the TD5. Now, I set my MIDI channel for the JX8P, and I'm going to pull up a soundtrack. And let's see. Why is that not working? Settings. Let's try 2. All right. So on 2, I have the Alesis here. So this is on a draw rock organ patch. Now, if I want the JX8P, I have to go back to channel 1 and see why it's not working. Oh, it's not on record. Okay, that would have something to do with it. Okay, now I have the soundtrack on the JX8P. So now that's coming from here. Okay? So that's how I split up the keyboards. Everything is MIDI. It goes from the controller into the Roland, through to the Alesis, through to the drum machine. Okay? And that's it. That's all the hardware. So just to recap, I have the ToneWorks gray pedal right here to my right. That's for guitar. My bass pedal board and the pedal board that runs the looper. Then I have the keyboard controller, which controls the 2 keyboards. All of my signal goes through the board, from the board, into the 505. Okay, so I hope I didn't confuse you too much. So that's it. That's my basic setup. And I'll show you how I do this. I'll put down a short loop just so that you could see my process. Okay? Sorry about the mic. Okay, I'm not going to be using a guitar, so I'll just do this on the bass with the keyboards. Grab my trusty bass. All right, hang in there. Okay, find the cord to plug the bass in. All right, so I hope you guys are enjoying this, because this is wacky for me. This is weird. All right, let me tune up the bass. We have to be in tune, right? Okay, let's see if I have some bass. Okay, we got some bass. All right. So I'm going to leave the click track on so that you can hear the click track. I usually have the click just going through my headphones, but just so that you could hear what I hear, I'll leave the click in. Okay? All right. Get a little bass thing going. Sometimes I start with the keyboard, sometimes I start with the guitar. Now add a little drums. A little cymbal. And I just wing it. And that's it. There you go. Yeah, and we stop all the tracks. And that's it. That's it. So on this loop, I did 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks. I didn't even use a fifth track. Whoops. Sorry about that. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. Okay. About how I do my background tracks. And that's it. There's many ways to do background tracks. I mean, this is just a method that I came up with for my teaching and so that I could put tracks behind myself so that I could practice my soloing. That's basically it. Okay? So, peace, love, and music for all. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure you leave some comments and you leave some questions. Don't forget to hit the like and share button and all that kind of stuff and subscribe. And I'm getting a broken neck from looking up, so I'll see you next time. Peace.